our movement sculptures. A couple things we need. Aluminum foil. This is the main thing we'll be needing today. Heavy duty or regular, it's perfectly fine. Other things are really optional. You can create everything with just aluminum, but a good thing to have is cardboard. This is going to give us a platform to put our action figures on. You could also have maybe some colored paper, scissors, glue. I would highly suggest hot glue if you are adding accessories to your action figure, but that really just depends on safety and making sure you have someone there to help you. We do not want you to get hurt or burned. So if you use regular glue, that's fine. Just know that, as always with regular glue, especially on aluminum, you really have to put just a little bit of glue and absolutely let it sit for quite a while. That way it has time to dry before you try to touch it. I have brought a couple of accessories. These types of things are optional when considering what type of action figure you're creating. These absolutely are not required, but depending on what type of action figure you have, you might have some things around the house that you would like to incorporate. Now, let's jump in. We're going to clear out our space, start with our aluminum, and here we go. With our aluminum, we are going to take off quite a large piece of rectangle. Cut that off. Now, you want to have the rectangle kind of turn long ways towards us. So I'm sitting over here. I'm going to put the rectangle up and down. But for the sake of you being able to see, I might turn mine to the side just a little bit. So please be aware of that. Alright, here at the bottom is where we're going to start. We do not need scissors for this. We're actually just going to be using our hands. We're going to start about in the middle. You want to try to eye it pretty well. And then we're just going to kind of pick up so it starts to tear just a little. Once it starts to tear a little, I'm then going to continue to pull up until I reach about halfway. Maybe not quite, but just about halfway. Now, is mine perfect? Absolutely not. Yours might even start to kind of just try to rip a little bit. If that's the case, just keep trying to go. This does not need to be perfect because it will be adjusted. Once I have that one rip at the bottom, I'm going to move to the top. Up here, I'm going to place 2 rips, okay? I'm going to start further to this side. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to very gently rip down. It does not need to go all the way to the middle this time. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to use my fingers to create kind of a rip or a line down. And I'm going to stop about where I did at the other side. Now, if we know this is going to be sculpture, it's not going to be flat, we're going to form it. If we're thinking about how this is going to be an action figure or a person, what might be here? Or what might be at top? If you guess legs, the head, the arms, you are right. So, now that we have kind of our rips prepared, what we're going to do now is we're very gently going to start to kind of form or squeeze the legs. Now, we don't want to squeeze super, super hard yet. We're just kind of slightly forming them. We'll go back later and form them a bit better. But for now, we're just kind of gently squeezing. Okay? Gently squeezing. We're going to come up here. The body will start to squish together a little bit. That's fine. We're not worried about that too much. But now I'm going to do the same thing to my arms. Not entirely squeezing them really hard. Just starting to lightly form them for my action figure, my sculpture. Alright. Now, I'm pushing in the center of the body just a little bit. Not really hard. But now when I get to the head, this is a little bit different. I am going to try to squeeze in a little tighter to create kind of a neck. But above that, I'm thinking about how I want my head on my figure to be a little bit more rounded. So I'm kind of bringing this over, not squishing hard, and just trying to get the kind of a little more rounded shape at the top for the head. All right, now I have kind of a general shape, but I want to form this a little better. So this is the part where I'm now going to go in and I'm going to start to squeeze a little harder. I'm going to maybe start to push in towards the body, the arms, squeezing them and forming them a bit better. I'm going to do this with pretty much everything. Maybe not the head quite as much because I want that to stay a bit more rounded. If you find that one arm or one leg is longer than the other, what's cool about this aluminum is you can always push and adjust when needed to try to make them a little bit more even. Last part, I'm going to go in with my legs and form them a bit better. Now, as we are coming to the end of kind of just the basics, we're going to already know and start thinking about how after this, we're going to start to form our action figures into postures or positions that's going to reflect what movement or action these sculptures or figures are doing or moving in, right? What action? So I already have mine in mind, but make sure you have yours, because soon we're going to start doing some different things to our action figures to represent our different sports or movements. All right, the last thing I want to do that we're all going to do is at the bottom, I'm going to kind of create what is somewhat resemblant to feet. The reason for that is going to help our sculpture action figure stand. So you'll notice that I have made a little bit of an end that comes forward that I have pushed flat at the bottom. And I'm going to do that at both sides. And this kind of helps. Now this might not be freestanding on its own at this point. Yours might. Awesome. But this is the point where we're also going to learn a little bit about the purpose of that cardboard. So we should each about have our figures formed. They aren't maybe in position yet to their action, but that's okay. So we should have our legs, our feet, body, torso, our arms and shoulders coming out with a neck and our head. If you felt like yours didn't come out very successful, what's pretty cool about this is if you have more aluminum, you could always go in and try again. Now that I have my figure formed, each of us are going to start to represent our movements, our sports. So we're thinking maybe in consideration of the Olympics, all the sports in the Olympics. So the one in particular that I'm going to represent is a gymnastics, so rhythmic gymnastics. And I'm also going to try to represent maybe the really cool kind of suit she has on. I'm also going to put the really cool like ribbon that goes with the rhythmic gymnastics. So those are kind of the accessories that I'm considering for mine. So for yours, you might have a basketball player. So you might create a basketball out of aluminum. Or same thing with soccer. You might create a soccer ball. But it's important to also think about if this is a soccer player, how I might bend their leg on one side to make it look like they're kicking the soccer ball with the other leg. So I'm going to take some time and I'm going to form my action figure while you watch. I'm also going to hot glue this action figure once I have the pose onto this cardboard, and that's going to help it stand up. All right, if you're just using aluminum, you don't have any accessories, that's fine too, you can make it work, but you are also going to see how you would go about this. Okay, all right, let's take a look. attach my action figure, my sculpture, to my base. This is as simple as, if you are able to have hot glue, to just simply put a dab of hot glue at the bottom with your learning coach. So we make sure we're using safety. And then simply press and hold to your cardboard or your base. It needs to be something thick or sturdy to hold and balance the weight. So it's hard to tell, but what I'm doing is I'm just pressing in the foot to the base where I added the hot glue.